Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, August 5, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. You are neither consciousness nor its content. You are the timeless source, the supreme reality. Trust in that. Nirvana. We are neither consciousness nor its content. We are the timeless source of all that there is, ever has been, ever beyond, and forever. The supreme reality. That's where the civilization is moving, to that comprehension. Most of us we stress and fear and we worry about a lot of things. A lot of them are pretty much insignificant. In fact, the majority of them are insignificant. And these things come from not trusting your personal connection to the universe. It's also worry-like is caused from a lack of consciousness, which can be shifted with a little mental discipline and focus. So it's like, if you've ever ridden a horse, and you've got the reins, right, and the bridle, and you pull back, and that steel bridle causes the horse to back up and stop. But sometimes, it's too tight. The reins are too tight. And it's like your mind, the reins on the mind are too tight on fear and too loose on love. And the mental forces of mind run wild when worry is present, and you end up getting pulled down roads you never wanted to go down. Now, I don't know. How many of us don't worry at all? Have you ever met anybody that doesn't worry at all? I think we're all prone to it. We worry. We fret. And it's kind of like a fine art because we've done it for so many years. Someone may be numb to passion, pleasure, and freedom, and have become like have you ever met people who worry all the time? They're always commenting on this and commenting on that, and they're always worried. It's constantly worried. They're like a worry zombie. Now, when you come to that realization with yourself, you step out of that zombie zone, you simply need to do one thing. Pull back on the reins of your mind. Steer those addicted horses back to their pleasure pasture, so to speak, an analogy, by staying focused, trust, and feeling the positive outcome you really want. You'll soon find that the mind is much happier, and its worried approach to living will leave your life stable. Now, the universe knows what it's doing. It's divinely intelligent, vastly creative. What if the future was 100% perfect, exactly as it showed up, and there was nothing you could do about it? What if you could see the bigger picture of the next 100 years of your life and know that there was absolutely nothing you needed to change for it to learn what your soul came here to learn? How would it feel if you could surrender to trusting the future all the time? Now, it's up to us to let go and experience trust for ourselves and this divine cosmic play called life. Now, when you let go and trust what is and what will be, magical things begin to happen. When you let go and trust what is and what will be, magical things begin to happen. This universe will start answering your every request because you are in alignment with what is, instead of trying to change, control, or conquer what is destined to be. Mind is too small a container to understand how everything is predestined. And yet we have the free will to change our imminent future. Future is not set in stone. We know that. It is written in the sand, which ironically is what allows the mind to experience the energy of worry in the first place. If everything was set in stone, there would be no way we could grow and have the grand experience of shifting from love to fear. You could, in order for yourself to step permanently out of worry, stress, and fear mode in your life, take an honest, deep look inside yourself and see what your personal worry issues are usually around. Why are you attached to these issues and not the other issues? To get curious about the subtleties of this attachment and simply notice how it feels to be attached. The next step is replacing worry with wonder and being curious about what these hurting parts inside you truly need. Now, after you find out what they are missing, such as love, trust, appreciation, gentleness, etc., and let them feel what they need. Feel a sense of wonder inside about everything inside you. Constantly refocus your mind on being curious about what it discovers is true and real. Every time the mind goes into worry, automatically replace it with wonder. Implement this simple switch. The instant you begin worrying, your life will become absolutely wonderful. So this week, choose one of your main worries to replace with wonder right now. You could write down your 3 biggest worries in life. Well, I'd say, what would they be? What would our 3 worries for a majority across the board be for us? 3 biggest worries in life. Well, I believe people worry about dying. I think people worry about living. And the third one, what would the third one be? And these are the master worries that everything's attached to. We worry about living, and we worry about dying. Now, we don't do that, as we know, early in these bodies' existence, but we do it later after the body gets to a certain age level. We start worrying about living and dying. And there's so many others. We worry about happiness. We worry about sadness. We worry about money. We worry about having money. We worry about poverty. We worry about wealth. We worry about eating. And I guess you would pick what you feel at this very moment now, what your three biggest worries are. Now you take those and you can write them down, or you could put you write them down, write down the biggest worries in your life at this very moment, and then write down three new statements that flip these worries upside down by implanting the energy of wonder. For instance, you are worried about making enough money to cover your bills. You might say, I wonder how the money I need this month is going to show up. I wonder how the money I need this month is going to show up. Practice saying these wonderful sentences to yourself and out loud. Anytime you start to worry, get curious about what fearful future you're running from and find out what it's like to be at peace, even if that future should occur. Focus your mind on the expansive feelings of peace, trust, and relaxation anytime you get caught in fearful future mode. Now, we all know that this life is definitely full of surprises, and it will give us the greatest gifts that we could ever desire if and when we remain curious and open. Even though it's stated over and over again, right up, I mean, it's been stated for centuries. And every one of our lives is what our thoughts make it. And another interesting thing is that all of us are omnipotently powerful, super manifest. Unfortunately, we spend a lot of our time manifesting everything we don't want. And it doesn't dawn on us. How many people do you believe it dawns on? That they finally get it. They say to themselves, I've been manifesting everything in my life to date, to now, by focusing on it. It's amazing. Something to understand that seems on the surface pretty simple, which brings you to the understanding that you're halfway there, because you've identified the fact that whatever you focus on, it's gonna manifest. And it's like things that happen. Figure this: how many people right now in this very moment are worried about their well-being? That's all they can think about their well-being. What about people that have debilitating diseases? What do you think they're focused on most of the time? They're focused on leaving the body or dying. What do you think happens to people that come down with cancer? Immediate thought is, what do they say? Here it is. They say they don't want to die. That very statement, they say they don't want to die. And I remember my sister saying that when she had her cancer. She said it was such, deepness. And it wasn't her ego mind. It came right from her heart. And she just blurted it out and said that she did not want to die. What does that do? The universe answers that. And guess what? She died. We don't think about those things, see, because we get so caught up in the ego mind, the emotionality, the fear-based manifestation. See, when you're pre-programmed like this civilization has been, generation after generation, from other people's thoughts, those living and those past, you don't have the information you need to shift this mentality or attitude. Because first you discover it, then you go within and you look at your trust, faith, and confidence in yourself first. And then your trust, faith, and confidence in the universe. And once you discover that and you practice that, then you would respond in a situation like that, I don't care to die. You focus on the uplifting vibrational frequencies that you're not going to die. What is the universe going to do? It's going to send you more, but every single one, just about. Some people say, I'm ready to go. They do. They say, I'm ready to go. And they go. The majority of people will say that they don't want to die. And because of that, and they keep focusing on it, that they end up dying. There are some people that say they don't care to die. And they don't believe that they will, no matter what disease they have. And it isn't wishful thinking, and it isn't from the ego mind, and it's from the heart mind. And the universe answers them by sending them or putting them near or with something that will eliminate their disease. But yet we fall prey to our own ego minds. Now, it doesn't mean that when you focus on what you don't want, that within seconds it's going to manifest. It takes a bit for it to come into fruition. But it does. That's why so many of the low frequencies that used to control this planet know that by keeping you in fear, what are you going to focus on? What you don't want. What is the universe going to do? Give you what you don't want. That's the ploy. That's what they implement. That's what all that stuff's about. And when you find yourself being manipulated in that way, you're able to say, stop, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in being pulled into lower frequencies of worry, stress, fear, and anxiety, focusing on all the things I don't want and manifesting all the things I don't want by focusing on all the things I don't want. How many people will say, in this very moment now, they don't want things to continue. They don't want things to keep going the way they're going. They don't want things to be happening the way they're happening. That's what they're focused on. What's going to happen? They're going to manifest it. into their lives. Now, the other person, on the flip side, says, I'm not interested in that. Don't care to be involved with it. And then shift and focus, this is what I want. I don't care to have that, but this is what I want. It's all about shifting your focus. That's all it is. Shifting your focus on the things that you do want in your life. What kind of life? And of course, then people ask, well, then why isn't how come all of us aren't experiencing what we want? Because you don't have the confidence, the faith, and the trust in yourself or the universe. It's the bottom line. Because when you put that out, then you begin to doubt it. If it's taking too long, you start to doubt it. It doesn't work. It's not going to happen. And this is where patience comes in, where we're just patient. It'll come in due time. There's no doubt about that. Sometimes things happen lickety-split. Other times they take a lot longer. The universe is setting up things, timing issues, all the different avenues. Never helter-skelter. That one thing, to shift our energies, do about face on things that we're constantly reinforcing and what we don't want, and then focus on the things that we do want. You could say, I want all of this stuff to end, and in detail how you want it to end, and how you want the outcome of it to be. And you send it to the universe. And then you detach from it. Just leave it alone. See, we all are born with this innate ability to materialize thoughts into physical form. And we can improve upon this gift by learning how to harness the power of the mind. All that is needed is total surrender to the idea, feeling, and experience of what you want to manifest as if it is already here now. Instantaneous manifestation occurs when you can hold this sensation and continuously release the emotional negativity and resistance to having it be real. When there is zero resistance, total openness to the infinite possible ways it can happen. And a deep knowingness that your desired outcome has already manifested on some level for you in the here and now. Then it has to manifest for you instantly. The ego mind is going to confront you with this and say, this is impossible, ridiculous, or miraculous, yet it is as natural as the warmth from the sunshine above. See, we all have that choice. Just surrender to it all, sit back and enjoy the ride. Can you imagine if you had some kind of a device that would tell you how high your trust was in yourself, how high your confidence was and your faith was in yourself? 3 little gadgets that you could look at and say, oh, geez, my trust level is only at 60. And so you follow these, and you say, well, I've got to get my trust level back up. It's believing in things without attachment and expectation. It's like they've already manifested in some way, shape, or form, and that's it. So they're a done deal. They could be sitting in your own backyard. But what happens is that we express doubt. And when you express doubt, the universe doesn't deliver. Every time we express doubt, the universe doesn't deliver. Now, it's like you go somewhere. You're going to get a gift for somebody, or maybe yourself, right? And it's something that you've been wanting a long time, but it's popular, and it sells out a lot. And you find out that one of the stores in your town, they call you and say, we've got one in. Now, what would be your immediate response to that? What starts? The ego mind starts in and says what? It'll probably be gone by the time I get there. Yeah. That's the way my luck is. Or worry the whole time you're driving. Worry. Oh, geez, I hope it's there. Oh, I hope it's there. I hope no one's bought it yet. Isn't it? See? And then these people said they don't want it to disappear. They don't want it to be sold. They don't want it to be sold. They want it to be available. And they're saying they don't want. They get there because they couldn't reserve it or anything. So they get there, first come, first serve, and they're informed it's been sold. You ever done that? And you kind of sink. It's kind of crazy. It's just a material object. But then you say, when they call you and say, it's it, we have one in. Don't know how long it's going to last, first come, first serve. We're going to call some other people that have their name on the waiting list. And you just go, that's fine. It'll be there. But it's not superficial. It's within, deep within your heart mind. And you get in your vehicle and you nonchalantly drive there. And if it isn't there, you're not disappointed. You're not upset. There's a big difference. So you keep that flow going of high frequency, high energy. You keep it going. And guess what? You go home. A couple of days later, they call you and say, we got several in. Boom. You go there and you get it. But see, when you push, you're pushing it away. When you're frantic and worried and stressed that you're not going to get it, you're pushing it away. When you say those words, I don't want, you're going to get what you don't want. And you're going to get what you want. So shifting that is absolutely imperative because you just get frustrated. You kind of go, geez. So you want to, for yourself, check inside to see where your trust levels are at. And see if you can practice feeling trust through your entire body. Practice trusting in the perfection of life in each moment. until your so-called trust meter reaches 100%. The goal is to live every day of your life with your trust meter relaxed and resting at 100% all the time. So no matter what occurs, devote the next 7 days of your life to seeing how high your body, mind can vibrate at on the trust meter. Do everything you can imagine that feels peaceful, healing, and exciting for your soul. Do what will bring more trusting energy and trust that everything that occurs is the right thing to occur. When you devote your life to growing this trusting feeling, then life will devote itself to growing its trust in you. When you devote your life to growing this trusting feeling, then life will devote itself to growing its trust in you. You can say things to yourself in certain situations, right? You can say that you are not going to be fearful of something, that you will not allow the fear to grip you, and you know where the fear comes from. And all you got to do is make up your mind to do so. Fear doesn't exist anywhere except in the mind. It doesn't exist. It exists in an illusion called the ego mind. Isn't that something? What is that fear predicated on for us when we fear? Because we're afraid. We're afraid that we'll be harmed in some way. That's what the fear is. It's like, someone has a dog, right? It's a little Chihuahua. And this one happens to be just cantankerous. And the owner's got it, and you're talking with the owner, and you reach out to pet the dog, and it bites you, right? And it's pain, and it hurts. So the next time you come across a dog that's aggressive, so to speak, what are you going to do? You're going to worry, or you'll worry that it's going to bite you. And that's why you won't reach out and touch the dog, because of the fact that it will bite you because it happened before. Instead of saying, now that's the fear. And if you get a dog that's really rambunctious and you're not going to pet it because you're afraid you're going to get bitten, then you'll have pain and disappointment. So we choose. It's just you slow down, you step back, and you say, I don't really care to engage in that. That's what that is. A fear-based mentality. Someone says to you, don't go in the woods because there's bad things in there might eat you or hurt you. So you hear that, and most of the time you just say, okay, fine, I'm not going to go in the woods because of your fear. You're driving a car, and there's a shortcut, right, that someone tells you about to get to the place you're going to. Now, it's at night, and you've never been down there before, and it's an unknown, but you're looking at the time element, because we're all in a hurry, right? You say, oh, well, heck, it can't hurt. I'll take that road. Now, the person that told you to take that road, unfortunately, didn't tell you that there was an extra turn that wasn't included in the directions. So you end up out in Timbuktu. You ever get that feeling you're going somewhere you're not familiar with, where you're at, and you get these directions, and you're driving, and then you get to the point where you start feeling that you're going like, I must have missed my turn or something, because I'm driving a lot longer than what the distance is to where I'm going. I must be lost. It's dark. There's no street lights. Dirt road. And fear starts to build. Doesn't it just true? Fear comes in. You go, boy, I hope I can find my way. Hope I don't get lost. Then they said they don't want to get lost. And all that's running through them. But when you sit back and you say, oh, this is not an issue, I believe that I'll be able to move out of this very easily. Even though your situation looks doomed and gloomy because you're lost out in the middle of nowhere. You say, well, I'll just retrace my steps backwards here. So you kind of go and you turn and you get back on the road that you were coming down, going the other way, and you see you're going down the road and you start seeing some familiar things, and the next thing you know, you're in familiar territory. Because it's attitude. It's our attitude. And we manifest it. And it's a proven fact. Every single time. So what I do, see for myself, because of the position I'm in and amassing a large amount of money to launch our technologies for humanity, I say it'll be here. And it's not like you know when, but you just say, oh, I know it'll be here. And you keep it that way. You keep focus on that. And you talk to people that step in and step out. It's like methodical stepping, stepping one foot in front of the other. Climbing the mountain, hiking up. No matter what, you're just focusing, going with the flow and things. And when you let go of things, because we all will at times grab onto things and don't care to let go of them. And because we feel we're going to lose something's going to not work right. But then when we let go of them, we just forget about them. That's when they happen. You no longer focus on it. You focused enough on it. You just focus on it enough where you know that it's here and it'll be here shortly. You just don't know from what direction. It's like all the people out there that are wishing and hoping for a windfall to come in, like the financial restitution for the planet. And they say, I know it's going to happen, but in the meantime, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to enjoy my life. And that's exactly what you'll do. And you stick to it. You don't deviate from it. And then all of a sudden, things come in. And you're elated. Because you weren't expecting it. And that's why every single time you'll say to yourself, I wasn't expecting that. And that's the truth, because you weren't. And so the universe sent it in. To eliminate pain and suffering and everything that we as a people on this planet experience, I believe that we don't believe that we can do that. That, this is what life has given you and this is what you will deal with. Instead of saying, oh, this will work out fine. No issues, no problems. This is great. And so you can literally write your own path and your own life exactly the way you want to live it. So in the quiet time of this meditation, let go of your fear. And the best way to do it is find out what it is. What is it? Why is it? Why is it in your life? How many times, in many cases, your imagination gets going and you've depicted all these things that are going to happen. And that's what fear is. It's basically an overactive imagination. And years ago, just to show you, I was living in my house. I was married at the time, young guy, and I heard this. I was on the third floor. It was one of those old houses, and I heard this ruffling, shuffling. And I was in bed with my wife, and she heard it too. At first, I just kind of blew it off. I said, that's probably nothing. It's the wind. And it was real early in the morning, so it wasn't dawn. It was still kind of darker than twilight. And heard it again. So I kept a baseball bat by the bed. It had a baseball bat that they had the kind of the iron shank through the center of it. So I went down the first flight of stairs to the second level. Then I started going down the second flight of stairs down to the third flight of stairs down to the living room. And then I stopped in the middle of those stairs because I heard it really loud and clear, and I thought it was somebody downstairs that had gotten in. That's exactly, see, my imagination had created something that didn't exist. I honestly believe that someone had broken in and was downstairs. So called 911. Police were out there. Dispatcher was on the phone. And said, just stay where you are, and the officers are checking the yard and looking around everything. And they said they didn't find anything. So they came to the front door. There was like a little foyer there. And all in all, this is exactly what had happened. It was the newspaper boy trying to get the newspaper through the outside slot where mail and stuff would drop inside the house. That's what it was. He was trying to get the newspaper in there. It was so thick, he couldn't figure out it. He was trying to maneuver it so that it would get through the slot and drop inside the house. That's exactly what the noise was. And the police officer kind of chuckled, and I kind of laughed, my wife did, because, this happens all the time. It's an overactive imagination. We conjure things that aren't there because our imagination just starts going wild, coming up with all kinds of crazy things, and that's exactly what happens. So what did I learn from that? I learned to really listen and not go crazy and create things that don't exist. So that's fear. That's where fear comes from. So in this quiet time meditation, if you have a fear or a couple fears, or two or three, you focus on your breath, you move into the now, and you'll know why you have them, and you'll face them. Care to have these fears. I'm the one that created them. So therefore, I'm the one that dispels them. So when anything comes down the pike, and you say, I'm not concerned about it. And then the person says, what is wrong with you? Why aren't you concerned about it? Because I'm not. I don't care to focus on something that I don't want. And that's what people are doing around me. So I don't care to do that. I'm going to focus on things I want. Doesn't that make sense? And you can continually repeat this 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 times so that it finally sinks in, so that we're practicing it daily. It's crucial. It's one of the first steps to finally figuring out that you're a God in that body and not the body. And all the power that comes with it. And all the joy and the happiness and the bliss. And all the wealth and abundance. And all the good. Join you in meditation. We'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in from the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. You have never made a mistake. Looking at the bigger picture of your life, you will see orchestration happening. Every little choice you've made was perfect and necessary for you to embrace the amazing being that you truly are. Enjoy the perfection of it all. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and following morning. We will return here Sunday, August 6th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest, high, deepest of the deepest, deepest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what is happening around you.